Hey everybody, I am doing my weekly planning for our homeschool and I thought I would take you along with me. I am using my SchoolNest Weekly Planning notebook. This is not a homeschool planner, but I use it for homeschool. Take that out. So, yeah, let's get started. I did not film one of these last week because last week was just kind of a weird week. We didn't do as much last week. But I do know that one thing we didn't finish last week was our robot study. So I am going to have to move that forward to this week. I'll show you that in a minute. But I already went ahead and wrote my kids' independent work in here. I just make a spot for it. And then as I go through and check their work, I mark this off. And then I know it's done. And I like to mark things off my list. So that's really helpful. I already wrote my meal plan along the bottom and my husband's work schedule. Let me go ahead and show you what each of my kids has for their independent work this week. So it's kind of nice because our school year is winding down. They're finishing things up, which is really nice. So they don't have quite as much to do. But I wrote my son's out for him in here already. So Monday he does type C, Tuesday he writes in his journal. So I already labeled that in there for him. And Wednesday he does Hoffman Academy. And then the rest of the days he does the same thing. Like the other 4 things are the same, Monday through Friday. So the first is his cursive, and this we actually bought for next year, but he finished the cursive curriculum that we had for this year, so he just went ahead and moved on to this one. So I just mark, he does 1 page in here, he traces it and writes it. So one thing I really like about this book is it still has the tracing. I feel like he's still at a stage where he still needs this before he goes on to write it on his own. So anyway, he's just doing 1 page a day in there. He also has his word ladders, which he's finishing up. So he's going to be doing 1 page front and back in there this week, every day. And he has his social studies. And again, I have that all marked for him. And then lastly, he has Heartwood Hotel. He's starting a new book this week. He likes this series, and the next book that I have for him to read is a little longer and a little more in-depth. So I wanted him to have kind of a lighter read this week before we move into, I think the One and Only Ivan is what I have him doing next. So he's gonna do this week, and I have a novel study from Lit House Learning that he's going to do. So I just went in and marked those by the day, and then what day he's doing what. And then in the teacher guide for Lit House Learning, for every for each day they give you some vocabulary words. So I just went through and marked the ones with him that he did not know. And then I wrote those in the vocabulary section of the literature unit for him. So that's all marked for him for this week. So that's all he has for his independent work. Now for my daughters, let's see. I marked hers already as well. So again, Monday she does type C, Tuesday she does her journal, and Wednesday she does Hoffman Academy. And then she is done with her spelling for the year. She worked ahead and finished her Fix-It Grammar for the year. She finished her health for the year, and she finished Heart and Mind for the year. So for her days, she has, let's see, she has her word ladders, which again, she's trying to finish up. So she does 1 front and back a day. I went ahead and marked those for her. She has her social studies. Her chapters are much longer than my son, so hers will take her a little probably longer to get through. But she's got that each day. And she has her vocabulary each day. Again, I just mark out what she's doing. And then lastly, she has, we're doing this unit from Core Knowledge, Calling All Minds. So she, in her independent work, will be reading a section from here. And then she and I will be doing some one-on-one work where we will do the lesson for it. But on her own, she goes through and reads the selection that I have marked for her. So that's pretty much what she has for the week. She's very excited that, because in previous weeks she had lots of stuff. So she's excited that hers is shrinking a bit. All right, so that's all in there. Now I do want to mark in the one-on-one time I'm going to do with my daughter. We're going to be doing the Calling All Minds, just she and I, and then she's working through this workbook here, and then I want to do her structure and style with her this week. So I don't have those listed in her independent work. We're going to work on those together. So I just want to mark in here, I'll just write one-on-one with Ava. And I think we'll do that every day, so 5 days. And that way, I know to set aside time for it. Okay, so I have that in there. So her stuff is good to go. So now I just need to put in the things that we do as a group. First one being math. So let me pull out our Math with Confidence. There are only 5 lessons and a unit wrap up in this unit 9. And some weeks we've been doing 2 lessons a day, but I have a feeling that these might be tricky for them. So I'm just gonna schedule in 1 lesson a day. But if it's smooth sailing, then we can always add in more and I can adjust this. So that's the great thing about erasable pen. So I will do Math with Confidence 9.1, Math with Confidence 9.2, plus the unit wrap up. All right, so that's good. All right, so math is done. Now for history, we are in Curiosity Chronicles still. Now typically we've been doing 2 chapters a week. One day we do the chapter, like we listen to it and read along with the audio. The next day we do the student activity pages. The next day we do the next chapter and then the next activity page. I think that I'm gonna try this week doing things a little different. I think we're gonna do the chapter and the activity pages in the same day. So do 4 chapters, and then on Friday, the 5th day, we will work through the review. So I have the little fortune teller review pages and then the topic review section. So I think we might do like, we'll do the fortune teller and maybe we'll do some writing assignment or like something where we can use the writing revolution. Like maybe we'll write study questions or something on that Friday. So I think that that's how we're gonna do that. I did go ahead already and put some books on hold at the library because I think this is going to be a few of these chapters they're really going to like. So I did put the Charles Dickens book on hold. Who was Charles Dickens? Who was Queen Victoria? And then some fairy tale. This is so timely because I realized the other day we had some family visiting and it kind of came up in discussion, but I realized my kids don't really know fairy tales that well because, at least princess fairy tales, because my daughter was never really into princesses, and so a lot of those Disney movies she never watched, and apparently we just didn't read a lot of fairy tales. So this is actually really good. I put a Grimm's one. I don't think I put these specific ones, but I put a Grimm's fairy tale on hold and a Hans Christian Andersen, and who were the Brothers Grimm. So those are all on hold already. And then as far as the activities, I looked for a book on this HMS Nemesis, and I couldn't find one because I think they would like to build this in Minecraft. So I may just look up something online and see what we can find. They might want to write their own fairy tale. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to squeeze too much into that 1 week. We'll have to see. I'm going to plan it out that we do 1 chapter a day, and then Friday will be kind of our review day, and then time for these extra activities. But if they're really enjoying one of the chapters, we don't need to do 4 chapters in a week to finish by the end of the school year. So I can adjust that. And somewhere I saw, oh yeah, I think they'd like to do this Minecraft build too, the Victorian home. And then this camera obscura somewhere, I made one of these out of a box and a magnifying glass and a tube. And I don't know if I kept it or not, but if I have it, I have some of those sheets of paper like that you use to make sun prints with. And that could be a fun activity. We could combine those, but I don't know. I'll have to look and see. I probably didn't keep it. All right, so that's, I already put all the books on hold that we need. And I think every chapter has a culture corner this week. So I don't know. I may be trying to squeeze too much in. We'll see. Yeah, I would like to do that camera obscura. I'm gonna look and see if I still have it. And then we've got Charles Dickens. There's another culture corner, fairy tales. So there's 3 culture corners. So we'll see. That may be a bad idea to squeeze all that in 1 week, but we'll see. Okay, so let me write Curiosity Chronicles chapter 65. I already printed out the activity pages, so I'll just put those in their envelopes, plus activity pages. So I guess tune in next week to see what I ended up doing. Chapter 67, plus activity pages. And then Friday we'll do review plus activities. All right. So that's good for that. And then we have our robot unit. I pulled this book out to use along with this Nomad Press one that we're doing, but we are on chapter 3 right now. We did this robot skin, which was really kind of weird, and the directions were not super clear, but we did it and it was interesting. We watched some videos with it. So we did get to that last week. So we're on to chapter 3. And I think I had planned, we were supposed to do this last week, and when I planned it, I thought we were going to do this mini walker activity, but I think I was looking at this one more closely, and the solar panel that you need is from like one of those like gardening lights, you know, that you stick in the ground. And we have a box of those in our garage that we literally have not used in 10 years. So I think that we might be able to do this one. We might try. And then so that will be Monday. Tuesday, I have this science kit already on hand that we're going to use for that one. And then one of these, I don't think, maybe there's not an activity, we're not doing an activity. Let me think. Oh no, we do have the stuff to do this one, the tilt sensor. So that would be Wednesday. And then Thursday, we're using, oh yeah. Okay, so Thursday is probably the last chapter we'll do in here, chapter 6. Chapter 7 we may read, but we're not really doing anything from it. I don't think we'll probably just read it. But chapter 6 is where we're gonna spread this over Thursday and Friday because that's where we're gonna try to use this little kit I bought for them to actually make something like with recyclables, like a robot, and use this and be able to program it. We'll see. So chapter 6 we're gonna do Thursday and Friday, I think. What color do I want? Doesn't matter. It doesn't. All right, so we will do Bots chapter 3, Bots chapter 4, Bots chapter 5, and then we'll split Bots chapter 6 on to Thursday and Friday. And then if we want to read that last chapter, which I'm sure we will, we'll just do that over the weekend. That's fine. Or the kids can do it independently even. All right, so that's the robot stuff. And then the last two things we have, oh, let's see. Did we? All right, I we're okay. We are not going to do Microsoft Office this week. I just know we're not going to get to it. We're doing too much other technological stuff. So I am though going to try to squeeze in both sewing and art. So last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess, we finished up the first DVD. This is a 3 DVD set. I thought they each had 5 lessons on it, but they actually had 6. So we finished the 6th one, actually 2 weeks ago, and it was really fun. That's the one my son did. And then that's the one that my daughter did. And it was really cool. The lesson, they showed Mary Englebright like greeting cards and some of her artwork. And then the kids had to pick one of their happiest memories and make their own picture. So that was really fun. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. Where are we gonna do this? I guess Friday. No. I think, you know what? I think we're going to do this on Monday. So we'll do Atelier Art, lesson number 7. And then sewing, we've been moving really slow with sewing. So they've done, 1 week they did their needle houses where they cut out these patterns and sewed them. And then another week they added like their little buttons and things. And then another week they made these little lavender drawer sachets. And they need more practice. Let's just say that before we move on to some of the more difficult projects in here. So instead of moving to the next one I had planned on, I think that we're going to do this. But when I say we're going to do this, I'm going to let them pick something they want to make and turn into a keychain. So I just need to get some keychains at the craft store. In fact, we might have some in our art cart. I'll make myself a note right there. So I'm going to let them make their own pattern. And basically you just make 2. You put a little batting in there and then you sew it together. And this would just give them extra practice on their sewing. So I think that's what we'll do for sewing. And we will do that. I think we have soccer practice on Wednesday. I think we'll do it on Thursday. All right, so that's it. I think that's our week. If we can get these robot lessons done, I will be super thrilled. It's not my comfort zone, and so honestly, that's why we didn't get through as much of it last week. This project really stressed me out, but we did it, and so that's the important thing. So if we can get this done, that would be great, because we still have 3 more of these novel studies that I wanted to do, like the novel study science tie-in. And the kids have finished the novels already for these, so we just need to finish up the robotics. That would make me really happy. So anyway, that's what our week is looking like. Let me know if you have any questions, and if not, I will talk to you in the comments down below.